Ice Cube. Tell your mans to chill. Yo, who mans is this? Somebody come get us.
But maybe they're all-time plays. You got James Harden, the beard. Where do you think he ranks all the time in terms of shooting guards?
That's a tough debate because he's taken his game to a whole nother level in recent years, especially since he joined the Houston Rockets, because when he was with OKC, he was known to be more of a scorer. You know, he was sixth man of the year, you know, actually like a cold hard 18, stuff like that. But when he got to Houston, he elevated his game to where not only did he become a bigger scorer, where he's basically the face of the Houston Rockets right now, but then also he's turned into more of a playmaker. I mean, it basically explains like his almost MVP type season, which he got. Personally, I feel like he got snubbed over Giannis Antetokounmpo, but like he's averaged double-digit assists while averaging like a cold hard 35, 36 points per game, which is absolutely ridiculous, absolutely insane. He just does not have the ring, and I feel like to be put in contention with one of the greatest shooting guards of all time, you gotta have a ring. But I think as of right now, I would give him top 5. But the only shooting guards that I really would have over him, so technically top 4. The only 4 that I see that are over him is Michael Jordan, Dwayne Wade, Kobe Bryant, and I'd say till his record is kind of broken, it's just personal opinion to me, I gotta put Ray Allen up there low-key.
That's a dark horse. Like you said, I've actually put him ahead of Ray Allen, but definitely MJ, Kobe, Dwayne Wade, and James Harden. He's a historical player too, man. At one point, he had like a 40-point game stretch last season. I would argue, I would say Giannis deserves his MVP over Harden based off like play style, and I feel like Giannis had more of a milestone season. I mean, the man can't shoot a 3, but he can average 40 points going to the paint. Harden, some may argue, maybe because of the ref and this new softer NBA we have, a lot of his points also comes from the free throw line too. Let's not, you know what I'm saying, my guy don't shoot the best all the time. But he's still a bucket at the end of the day. His playmaking has definitely gotten better. His play style though, I'm not the biggest fan of. It's slow. Some say it's boring, not the easiest watch, but he does get the job done. But yeah, I'll say he's definitely top 5. My personal list, he's on number 4. So I mean, he continues to be great. We'll see what he does. He definitely does need that ring now.
Okay, so dissecting what my 2 partners have said, I can agree that I can put James Harden as the 4th best shooting guard of all time. Dwayne Wade has had some historic years scoring the ball, and has some years where he's had historic years scoring the ball, and it's also led him to championships. He has 3 championships. Kobe Bryant has 5 championships. Michael Jordan has 6, of course. The guys did it all. You know, Jordan led the league in scoring for multiple years. Kobe Bryant led the league in scoring for multiple years. So James Harden just leading the league in scoring is nothing new, I think, that would be for this list. But I think he has asserted himself as one of them generational type players, is because he's kind of, I don't want to say created the style, but he's taken advantage of a style that guys like Jordan and guys like Kobe and guys like Dwayne Wade have first implemented before him. You know, guys that learn how to use the sweeps and learn how to use certain pump fakes and everything like that to bait the defenders into fouling them. So a lot of these guys that do score the ball a lot, they do end up getting fouled a lot. It's just the nature of the beast. And because I mean, every once in a while you're gonna have to find ways to get your game going. But my issue with James Harden is, while he has gaudy numbers in the regular season, he necessarily hasn't been the best in the postseason. And I may think that's partly because he has such a high usage rate. He just tends to burn out during the playoffs. Teams are scouting him a little bit better. Teams are scouting the Rockets a little bit better. So I think that's not necessarily all his fault. It may just be part of the coaching, but at the end of the day, you gotta do what you gotta do. Kobe Bryant was out there averaging 30 plus. Michael Jordan was out there doing it. You gotta do what you gotta do in order to take your team to the next level. We've seen James Harden have games where he's only taken under 10 shots. So I mean, it's hard to dissect whether or not what you're gonna get from him. I still gotta go with my man Daniel though. I still believe James Harden deserved that MVP last year. I feel like he was snubbed at least 4 years straight with Curry and Westbrook and KD doing their things. I gotta admit, but definitely last year I feel like he was snubbed. He was breaking records left and right. And Giannis, I feel like number-wise, his numbers were not much different than the previous year. And I feel like he had a better team around him versus Harden. As you can see, when Harden had guys going down, such as Capella and Chris Paul, he was able to not only take that team from the bottom of the Western Conference to the playoffs while all those guys were down for, I believe it was at least 30 games because Paul was out. So I haven't seen Giannis do that.
So I have a question though. I agree James Harden got snubbed. Are we just gonna give him even with all the acclimates and milestones he broke, are we trying to give him the award because we feel bad because he's been snubbed in the previous years, or are we actually going off numbers? Because I mean, in that case, I mean, some may even say, let's see, Russell Westbrook, when James Harden won the MVP, he averaged another triple-double. People were saying, oh snap, Russ averaged another triple-double like he did the previous season in which he won the MVP. But then I think, Harden got it that way. Some people felt as if even though Harden had a great season, Russ, he averaged another triple-double. He deserves to be back-to-back MVP. And I feel like some people were like, nah, we're gonna give it to James because Russ already did something last year what he did. So I mean, maybe some people felt a little sympathy.
I'm basing it off of just last season, as Ben noted. Though he brought the Rockets down from the bottom of the Western Conference. They were the 14th seed, brought them all the way up to like the 4th seed, 3rd seed up in the Western Conference. To take a team from that low to that high speaks wonders. And his game was so consistent to where he averaged like 36 and 10. He had a 60-point triple-double. He had another 50-point triple-double. Like, he was a triple-double machine carrying the Rockets offense, despite the fact that their offense was kind of very predictable. James Harden is like the ISO player. Like, you give him the rock, he's gonna hit you with a little cross between and then like try to hit you with the step back. Like, he's gonna hit that on you every single time. But the fact that teams have not been able to stop that this whole entire time has been absolutely ridiculous. Of course, Golden State in these past years have had James Harden's number. I just feel like the past 2 seasons, the Rockets should have sent Golden State home. They were in very good positions to do that. I'm just still stuck on the Game 7 where they missed 27 straight threes. Instead of like just going inside after maybe missing 5 in a row or 10 in a row, you got to the point where you missed over 20 threes consecutively. You blew a big lead to the Golden State Warriors. You should have had them sent home. You should have been to the finals 2 straight seasons. Maybe split the rings, win 1 year, lose the second one. But of course, that's just my opinion personally. But I'm basing it off of last year, not like in recent years when he's gotten snubbed. It's just last year.
Personally, I believe the MVP is more so about the storyline. It's about the fans, and it's about whatever they're inclined to choosing. And like I said, about the storyline, Giannis, he got the storyline coming out about his dad, how he was sending money to his family. He was coming off as a likable guy. So I think there's a marketing piece in point. And yeah, the Bucks did have the best record in the league. I will admit that. But if you're just basing it down to by the name of MVP, most valuable player, you take Giannis off that team, they're still making the playoffs. If you take James Harden off that team, as you can see, they're down in the bottom of the West. So that's my critique, man. What do y'all think in the audience? Let us know down in the comments below.
Crossed over, then we slammed dunk. Cross over. Michael Jordan 6 rings make me slam dunk. Drink no whiskey with the chickens, I'm a slam dunk.